Dana does this thing where she will use the bathroom for 40 minutes uninterrupted. And then at minute 41, I'll knock and be like, hey, how much longer are you going to be in there? And she'll get angrier than anyone's ever been.
I always say this, but I'm like, I'm working my ass off in here just trying to be a 7 for you. Dude, guys love to complain about how long girls take in the bathroom, but it's like, I don't see them dating girls who don't take any time in the bathroom. You know what I mean?
In order to test that theory, one girl one time would have to not take forever in the bathroom, and that's never occurred.
I used to be one of those girls who didn't take any time at all in the bathroom, and I was fucking busted. I was chopped and unk. Seriously. I used to be like I used to be low maintenance. Oh, I'm ready. I used to not even brush my hair. I used to be ready to go. I was like my claim to fame, always ready to go. And guess what? I was chopped and unk. So if you want to be with someone chopped and unk, you know what? No, I wouldn't want to be with someone who wanted to be with someone who's chopped and unk.
I don't think you can be unk. I think unk is old, so you couldn't used to be unk.
Okay, well,
so that, unless you're like a Benjamin Button thing, is that what you're trying to tell me? I used to be
chopped and yunk. That's
wow. Well, I guess you're right because I would hate to date someone who's chopped and yunk.
Midnight
Milkshake.
Anyway, that's all I'm saying is like guys don't understand that it's like, yeah, every 10 minutes that I spend in the bathroom is at one hotness point. That correlates to one hotness point. You want me to be a freaking 2? Fine. Let's go.
But also, I think this is also a key point of distinction I would like to make is that I'm not kicking you out of the bathroom at 40 minutes. I'm just saying, how much longer? Like, why is it you have to get angry at that?
I'm not like angry. I'm just like, what do you mean? Like to me, also okay. This is what.
Yeah. You're not like
so
angry.
When we moved into this apartment, when we moved into this apartment,
yes,
I knew a challenge would be that we're sharing one small bathroom because we used to have a big bathroom with 2 sinks, and it was easy for us to both be in there simultaneously.
True.
There was even like a separate area for the toilet. I think that this is actually. I don't know if Robert and I need 2 bathrooms, but I will say when we had a bathroom in which the toilet had its own door, that was a godsend. Right.
Sure.
And I think like we moved into a smaller place and we have a smaller bathroom, and look, like I'm like the bathroom situation is
but no, see, I would disagree with the way you're making it about the bathroom situation. You're making it about like how I'm superficial. And I'm like, I'm literally just saying like, hey, how about this? Sometimes I check, because if I knock on the door at 40 minutes and I say how much longer, and you say it's gonna be another 40 minutes, I'm literally cool with that. I
because
actually don't get
loaded
mad.
And you're not actually cool with that.
I would be cool with it.
No, in your heart, you'd be like, what the fuck? Why is she taking another 40 minutes? Also, today you were like, today you needed to shit.
Dude. Well, that's okay. You see what I'm talking about?
What?
What? Well, what?
What?
Well, do you want to know why? Okay, because I used to be someone who never shit. I never did.
Robert
I was
used to never
chopped and
shit.
constipated. I was constipunk. I was chopped and constipunk. And girls didn't like me because they said, why is your face beet red? And why are your veins bulging? And why is there blood coming out of your nose?
Okay, not to bring everything back to Knowles, my outdoor wilderness program.
Of course.
But there was
happy to change the subject from me shitting, so go on.
There was one girl who she didn't poop for 10 days and she was sick. Low key. She got sick. She was so constipated because the food didn't agree with her. And maybe she felt uncomfortable pooping in the wilderness.
Dude, it is crazy that when you go on certain vacations, if you're in an environment where you don't feel comfortable, like my body won't even feel the need to poop.
Is that real for you?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I often feel this when we would go to your mother's house where I just wouldn't, for like a week, I just wouldn't.
You wouldn't shit at my mom's house?
Pretty much, no. I mean, I'm sure there have been exceptions to the rule, but in general, it's like, if we're there 10 days, I would maybe shit once.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Isn't
okay.
it? But again, it's not like I like need to shit and I'm suppressing. It's like my body's just like checking out, like not here.
I low-key think I poop definitely less when I'm in foreign environments, but I also am like, I shit weird in foreign environments. Like I'm like, I don't shit. Like it's not normal for me. Like it's just never,
When was it
good.
a time you were in a foreign environment and had a weird shit that wasn't normal?
Every time. Every time I'm traveling, my stomach hurts the whole time I'm traveling. This is why I'm like the jet setting life. I just don't know. It's like, I like it in theory. We always talk about this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like the idea of being a cosmopolitan lady who's like always, on a plane. I live out of my suitcase. Like I love that theory, but like I can't in practice. I'm like, my stomach hurts constantly.
I love the idea of being a cosmopolitan lady who's like, I'm on a plane, I'm traveling, I'm shitting the same as I should anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to be a girl who shits the same anywhere I go.
Yeah.
I have to be like, I mean, again, I really rely on routine to keep me regular. Okay, this is also.
And by the way, that is her regular. The way she said regular then, that's her normal. Regular.
Yeah. I mean, you again, you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
Like, do you not have that where it's like, no, my stomach, does your stomach not hurt every time we're traveling?
My stomach, I gotta be honest, I just don't really have stomach issues.
Okay, well, that's annoying.
But
I think that's, I guess guys tend to have less stomach issues than girls.
I never, like, here's the thing, my stomach never hurts.
Your stomach has never hurt.
It has hurt before when I'm like especially sick, but it's like, no, my stomach doesn't hurt. I can kind of eat anything. My stomach doesn't hurt.
You never have like gastrointestinal issues?
I don't think so, no.
Well, lucky you. Well,
I mean,
lucky
yeah.
Freaking you.
That being said, I mean, if we're already down the rabbit hole, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound.
Sure.
It is like, I would say also, it's like, I don't really feel like I have a standard shit either. I feel like every shit's kind of a different. So I guess I don't really care.
Every shit is different.
I literally think so. I can't.
So sometimes it's liquid. Sometimes it's solid. Sometimes it's big. Sometimes it's small.
Yeah. Sometimes it has a little hand and a little mouth, and the hand reaches up towards me out of the toilet bowl, and the mouth says, "Kill me," and then I flush it. But my stomach doesn't hurt, so nothing really to complain about there. What do you think about that?
I honestly don't. My thoughts were just like completely like they were wiped by the whole hand visual.
Well, that's kind of my goal here.
Yeah,
is to create such like a vivid image, to be so avant-garde that it's not really gross anymore. That actually was my goal. My goal was like, what if I come up with something so avant-garde,
right?
And
That
kind
this
of
is no longer right.
It's not disgusting.
Right? No, that's so true. Like this is no longer potty humor.
Yeah.
Also, you know what? I hate that phrase. I hate when people are like, I don't like potty humor. I'm like, I don't like when you say potty humor.
Yeah.
Like that fucking icks me.
Well, you
can talk to me about your shit all day long. That literally doesn't ick me. The second that you call it potty humor, I'm like, you're the gross one. That's all.
Yeah. Also, it's like, you don't like potty humor. I don't like humor that's not shit spraying out of a big fat butt. So
yeah.
what are we gonna do?
So I guess we have nothing in common then.
Yeah. We've got to change the subject.
Okay, we have to.
We've
we
been
really
on
do.
this for
Oh my god,
so
I'm so
long.
sorry.
Each new time we would find like a new angle on it. I was like, oh no. I thought we were getting out.
I'm gonna jump into influencer of the week really quick. Is that okay?
Okay, so this is our influencer of the this is our influencer of the week segment, where Dana will describe a new influencer who has captured her imagination and who I've never heard of and probably never will again after this segment. So Dana, who is this week's influencer of the week?
So my influencer of the week is actually an influencer I was really into, I think maybe a year and a half ago. And when I first see her, she is this 20-year-old college girl. She's really insightful, really wise, has a lot of like really unique insights on like, you know, what it's like to be a girl who has crushes that don't like you back. And she's like she's nice. She like makes cool breakfast. She's very like quirky. She wears these glasses. I'm just very taken with her. And again, she is, for a young person, has like a lot of wisdom. And I like to listen to her talk and eat her breakfast. Okay. I hadn't seen her in a while, and I didn't really like make note of the fact that I hadn't seen her in a while. I'm scrolling the other day and I see a girl, and I'm like, pause for a second because I don't recognize her. Because it's not a talking video and she's not wearing glasses. And then I see the name and I see it's the same name as the girl with the glasses. And I immediately I'm like, oh my God, it's her. I go to her profile. All of the videos with her talking and wearing glasses have disappeared. They're gone. She's signed with a modeling agency, which makes sense. She's a beautiful girl, but I say this about like a 20-year-old girl. Again, I'm a freaking creep. Okay. I can't help it. It's just who I am. But like, I'm going through her stuff. Yeah. All of her talking videos, all of her advice videos, her glasses, they are nowhere to be found. She's just like a cool voiceless model now. And so I'm like freaking out because also I have no one to talk about this with. I don't know anyone who knew of her, and I don't know anyone who would appreciate the transformation or like have anything to think about it. And so I tell Robert, and I'm like, oh my God, this girl took off her glasses. She disappeared from my For You page, and now she's back, but she only does like kind of like hot girl content. Whereas previously she did like nerd, weird girl content. And I'm just like, I'm blown away by this. Then literally after I told you that, right? 3 days later, she has a new advice video. She's not wearing her glasses, but she is talking again. And she with an advice video. And I felt very comforted that I was like, I thought I had lost her to her hot girl life, but she came back with her voice and she made a video talking, and it was beautiful.
Remember when you called her beautiful?
I know.
Like a creep?
Like a creep.
She's 20 years old.
I know.
She's young enough to be your daughter that you had at 10 years old.
Dude, no one wants to talk about the age gap influencer fan relationship. What about that age gap?
What are you referring to there?
Like the fact that there's a lot of influencers I like who I have an age gap with. Like I follow, like honestly, a lot of my life decisions are informed by like a stranger who's 7 years younger than me. Isn't that interesting?
So like a 23-year-old random girl on TikTok is your kind of North Star, your guiding
my North
compass.
Star. Yeah, she's like, yeah, she definitely is having a lot of influence over me, my life, and my choices.
Not to paint with too broad a brush, but it does seem like guys look to men who are around 15 years older than them to kind of guide them and model themselves after. And it does seem like girls are looking backward. They're looking for girls who are like what the younger generation of women is doing to try to model themselves.
It's interesting because I wouldn't say it's always like I'm looking at a younger girl. I think I've always looked at girls from like 22 to 25 as role models. So when I was 7, I was looking to girls 22 to 25 as role models.
Interesting.
When I was 27, I was looking to the same girls as role models. So it's like, I think there's something about that age range for women where I'm like, that is the woman. I think it's also, dare I say, the 22 to 25-year-old woman, she's like established and like has enough of a sense of self, but she also is still experimenting with who she is. And so I think like that's why maybe she's more of like a muse for like me, is because she is someone who is making new choices and seeing what works and doesn't. Yeah. And I think that's what calls to me. Like, I'm someone who is constantly seeking evolution, and that's the kind of woman who, again, fully formed enough to like be a person that I can relate to, but also someone who's not like so cemented in their identity that they're never doing anything new or interesting, or they're never having evolution. Like, I think the girl I was just talking about is a really interesting example because she's someone who like I really identified with, and that it was interesting to see her evolve or change.
What's interesting is I do feel like, again, painting with the same broad brush, it seems like I think the reason why men tend to look to men who are older than them is I think men like the idea of having already cemented themselves.
Yes.
I think that women are insecure about never moving or evolving past their current position. And I think men are insecure about never achieving a place of success and happiness and like contentment.
Yeah, I think that's really true.
I think because like when women are like trying a bunch of things and doing a bunch of different things, on some level, like that's really fulfilling for them and they enjoy that. And by the way, I think a lot of women are like more stagnant in their lives than they'd like to be because of the patriarchy.
We see you and we know who that's to blame.
We know who's to blame. So even though I'm gonna breeze past it to get back to my point, I know what the real problem is.
We know.
But anyway, I feel like women are very insecure about like becoming trapped in their day-to-day lives and their day-to-day routines.
Yes.
And I feel like men are insecure about never being able to like figure themselves out or find their thing.
Yeah, and I wonder what that's about. Like,
because every man's role model on the internet is like a mid-40s dude who's bald with like a gray goatee and who somehow is already retired. They've already been a Navy SEAL. They've already been a UFC fighter.
And he's reached the top level of some sort of martial art you've never heard of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that's really true. I think that men really crave being established already. They crave already having done the thing.
They crave already having done it.
Women are always worried that they're never going to do a new thing.
But I think that's also why men love podcasts hosted by former Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
That's why they think they're cool. It's not that they're like badasses who know how to kill. It's that they're done. It's like these are guys who've already done all the coolest shit they've ever done. Yeah. And now they get to relax.
I also think like men love to talk about like days past.
Yeah.
Like they love to like reminisce.
Yeah.
In a way that I'm like, I think like, okay, I mean, maybe I'm just like using my parents as examples, but like my mom like would like hated when you're like talking about a story that happened already. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? She was like, you should be talking about what you're going to do later today.
Yeah.
She's like, don't talk about the hike you went on. Talk about the hike we're going to do.
On. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Like definitely not liking to romanticize past endeavors.
Interesting.
Always very like forward looking. And like would almost like when my dad would tell a story that happened already, she was like, didn't like that. Like she wanted to like focus on like the future, like what's going to happen next.
Yeah. And you see, I can't really relate to that because my mom's stories don't really cling to any sort of linear narrative structure.
Yeah. No, your mom's stories have a lot of
they're very nonlinear.
Yes.
They'll be about the thing that's going to happen, but then somehow go back in the past to something that's already happened, to jump forward to something she wished would happen, to go backward to something she thought would go one way but didn't.
We're kind of an avant-garde.
It's very
postmodern.
avant-garde. My mom tells stories. My mom tells stories like a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yes.
Non-linear.
In media res.
As you're watching it, you're not sure how it's all going to fit together. Sometimes like shocking amounts of like disturbing material that's kind of just glanced over.
That's true. Well, your mom's stories often have like visceral, almost gore elements.
Well,
like one time she started a story with a girl throwing up.
That's right.
Like, and that was how the story started. A girl threw up.
Yeah.
But she referred to it as losing her cookies. She said a girl lost her cookies.
And we weren't sure if that meant threw up or like lost her mind.
But that was the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
And what was a wild one? You know what I mean?
Well, my mom will tell a story, and if the story is the cat walked through the door, my mom will tell that story by being like, so there was, I never wanted a pet, but the cat started coming. And I was like, all right, because I didn't have time to clean the inside of the house. And there's carpet in there. And the carpet was, it was a gift. And I always think that the best gifts to give are gift cards because then they can get whatever gift they want. And so I'm at the door and I see this cat. And I'm like, the reason the cat was there was because, my husband, your father, he said he was going to take the cat with him. But it didn't. And by the way, this will go on for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And the story is the cat walked through the door.
Yes.
But we have to...
But they're like non-linear elements. And like every
element
new,
needs to be fully examined and explained.
Yeah.
And by the way, to be clear, I think my mom is a better storyteller than most.
Oh, 100%.
Because I think most stories suffer from no one gives their actual emotional context to things that are happening.
Well, again, I want to know your opinions.
Yes.
We always think about that. We go... this is very like Robert and I talk about this a lot, but like I'm like I don't really need to know where you were and when, but I need to know how you felt about it and why.
Yes.
And that's what I'm interested in.
I think the best conversationalists are the ones who will have a hot take about literally any issue, especially one they've literally never thought about before. Like I think my mother is a great conversationalist. Yeah. And my favorite example of this is one time I said to my mom, hey, what would you do if you could travel back in time? And my mom immediately said, I would go back in time and kill Hitler. But then crucially, I asked a follow-up question. If you went back in time to kill Hitler, how would you do it? And she goes, well, I guess I would sleep with Goebbels.
Brilliant.
Boom.
Brilliant.
Whoa.
She had a plan.
So first of all, now I realize like she wasn't even going to go back and like kill baby Hitler.
No.
She was going to kind of shoot the fair one with an adult full power Hitler.
Yeah.
Bold.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, well, how are you going to do that? She was going to literally, she had a plan. She was going to seduce her way into Hitler's inner circle.
Yeah.
And guess what? That's awesome.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. And also maybe would have worked.
Strategic. I mean, I haven't heard of a better plan.
Well, guess what? If that is probably the best way to get into the inner circle of kind of any group of like old creepy men.
Yeah.
Just get in there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, old creepy man. I'm like, if you're, again, I always say this, but I'm like, if you're willing to, jerk someone off, you can get a lot of things you want in this life.
You do always say that. And I
do always say
wish
that.
you would cut back a little bit.
Yeah. Robert doesn't really like
concerning.
it when I say that. But I always say Zoom has ruined one's ability to
jerk people off to get what you want. Because you can't jerk people off on Zoom.
Yeah. And again, I'm like, but maybe... Dude, I wonder if there's someone teaching like a Zoom seduction workshop.
100%, and I refuse to look that up to confirm. Absolutely.
Should I teach one? I have never done it.
You would hate it.
To seduce someone on Zoom?
Well, to teach a course about seducing someone on Zoom.
I would hate both of those things.
You would maybe
I don't want to do either.
Yeah. Well, no one's making you do either.
Thank God.
You kind of volunteered for a job that you made up 10 seconds ago.
Well, I didn't volunteer for it. I said I don't want to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So good. So neither of us are teaching a class about how to jerk people off on Zoom.
Good.
Yeah, I've got
Okay, what do you have?
So we got engaged last November and we're getting married next May. So we have like a 1.5 year engagement. And I got to say, the beautiful thing about a 1.5 year engagement is A, gives you time to plan, but more importantly, B, it gives you time to fundamentally change how you feel about literally every single one of your wedding guests.
Yeah.
In any direction. Because your wedding guest list is pretty much set because, it's your family, it's my family.
Right, yeah.
It's like, friends here and there. So the guest list is set from the jump. But over the course of a 1.5 year engagement, I've been betrayed. I've been uplifted. People who I thought would be seated in the back, you're right in the front row, baby.
Right.
People who I thought would never be let near a microphone, I'm like, just take it and go.
Right.
It is just like you fundamentally are a different person in that 1.5 years.
Yeah.
I feel like our relationship has not changed.
No, our relationship has not changed.
But I feel like I feel like our relationship with people around us just inherently changes over the course of that time.
Yes, the way our orbit has shifted.
Because here's the thing. When you get engaged with someone, that doesn't mean that your feelings to them have changed at all because like you love them. That's why you got engaged to them.
Yeah.
But it does mean that people in your life kind of change how they feel about you a little bit, even unconsciously.
Yeah.
Because now they don't look at you as like that couple that's dating. They look at you as that engaged couple.
Right.
So you fundamentally change the context other people look at you at.
I think that's really true. Where it's like your perception doesn't change of each other, but other people's perception of you guys as a unit shifts fundamentally. And again, this isn't unique to me and Robert.
Yeah.
Because I see so many TikToks about people talking about like, oh, if you want to know how your family really feels about you, get engaged. And I think that's so true. I think people just like start acting weird when you kind of try to solidify your union.
Well, okay, for better or for worse, when you get engaged, everyone in your life acts as if you got engaged at them.
Right.
Like it's something you did to them.
Yeah.
And then they react accordingly.
Yeah.
Some react great, some react poorly.
Yeah. And again, we're not alone in this. It seems like pretty much everyone has like an experience where they're like, yeah, like, no, getting engaged will really reveal how people feel about you and your partner as a couple. And I think that's very true. And it is, you know, it's scary, but it's human. That's human dynamics. That's from an anthropological perspective, fascinating. From a personal, I'm experiencing this perspective.
What a roller coaster.
Not ideal. But a roller coaster.
And ain't that
really
life.
Interesting. And ain't that life.
Well, it is funny. Here's the thing about life, it finds you.
That's so true. Well, you can try to avoid it, but it doesn't matter.
You can try to be a recluse who sits and just makes funny videos on your phone. Life will come up.
Yeah, Robert and I thought that if we just made internet videos in our bedroom, nothing bad could ever touch us. But we were just so wrong. And now we live in a different bedroom. And
but also the same bedroom.
That's
also what you realize when you move is just like actually once you put your stuff in a place, it's all the same place.
Yeah.
The same stuff is the same place.
Yeah. Until you're rich enough to hire a decorator and change everything about yourself in your life.
And then that's true. But also we always say this when we watch the Kardashians. It's like all of their houses look the same. Their houses suck.
Well, the Kardashians' wealth peaked in, what did we call it? Season 12?
The Kardashians' wealth peaked when they moved into that big house in Calabasas.
Yeah.
The bigger one. Not
the bigger one
from
with
season one.
the checkered floors. That was when...
That big kind of like maximalist 2010s, 2000s style of rich Spanish home.
And like also like that's when they really clearly like felt the richest because they moved up a bracket of rich.
Yeah.
But then after that, it slowly became like it was clearly diminishing returns with their wealth.
Well, now they all live in like giant white mausoleums.
Right. Now
everything
they live in
is
mausoleums.
soulless and too big and too white.
So it definitely is interesting. So I'm like, if you watch the Kardashians, you can figure out exactly the amount of money that'll make you happier, and then you see their fall off. Their steep drop into.
That's a great way to measure. That's a great way to measure how rich you even want to be. Is to watch the Kardashians and to just pinpoint which season you think they have the best shit.
Yeah, or like what season you think they start to seem kind of like miserable and odd.
Well, it's like because like I watched the Kardashians season 1.
Yeah,
and I think nice, but you know, in my dream of dreams, I'm like, I wish I had a bigger house than that. I wish I had a bigger pool than that.
Right.
And then they start to get a little rich, and then around season 7, they move to that big Calabasas house, and I'm like, okay, I want that shit.
Right.
But then around, you know, the Hulu Kardashians, they're all living in like aircraft hangars in Calabasas, and I'm like, this is too rich.
Also, now they have like all of them have 2 aircraft hangars. Like it's like they used to be like 3 of them were living in like one really cool mansion, and now each of them have 3 of their own aircraft carriers.
Can I say something? And I don't mean this to be rude.
Hangers.
I don't mean this to be rude because I actually do like Kourtney Kardashian as a character. I think the best thing about her is that she's just kind of like she is that kind of lady.
Yeah.
No matter how much money she had, she is that kind of lady.
Well, money hasn't changed her. I think that she's the only one you could say that about.
Because wasn't she the only one who had gone to college and graduated before the show started?
Yeah, I would say she's the only one who had like a fully formed frontal lobe and a relatively relatable to the average American life experience before the show started.
Which is not to say that Kourtney Kardashian is normal. It's just to say that she is the kind of weird she would be even if she didn't have this money.
But she is a kind of person that exists. So like
almost, I would say she is normal because there's a lot of people who I think are like her.
Yeah, and if you find her annoying, I'm like, yeah, but you find similar women annoying who don't have that kind of
like
money.
Similar women exist to Kourtney Kardashian. There are no other Kim Kardashians.
There
She
are no
kind of
other-
is one of one.
Yeah.
There's no really other Khloe
There's no
Kardashian.
Khloe Kardashian
She's one of one.
who's not
There's
that.
no other Kris Kardashian. She's one of one.
But I think there are other Kendall Jenners.
There are other Kendall Jenners.
kind of like just like rich, pretty girls who are cool and like ride horses.
Well, we always say there are other Kendalls, there are other Kourtneys, and Kendall and Kourtney are the two people who I'm like, they are not actually that different as a result of their environment.
No.
They are not products of their environment. They are just like, they're people. They seem like they're people who exist.
And again, in like around season 12 or whatever we were watching,
Yeah.
I found Kourtney and Kendall to be kind of annoying characters as they
Yes,
emerged.
yes.
And the thing is, they haven't really changed that much. The
No.
difference is that is charming to me inherently.
Well, you appreciate that the way they're annoying has stayed the same the whole time.
Which I do. It's like, wow. Because other people, it's like, look, Chloe's changed a lot over the
Yeah.
course of the show. Even Kim's changed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, in her own ways, kind of stayed the same.
Chris has more or less stayed the same, but
She
like
does keep getting facelifts and dressing like people from the Little Rascals. Which
I think Chris is the main thing that we are reacting to with Chris is whoever her stylist is. I don't know if we respect their choices.
because I think she got too rich.
Yeah.
But anywho, back to my original
Yeah.
point. I don't mean this in a rude way. I
No.
hope I fully contextualize how I feel about Kourtney Kardashian.
Also, to be clear, we really respect the Kardashians and the empire that they built.
Of course,
And we
of
love
course.
them as a documentation of American royalty.
But as I was saying, but with Kourtney, I'm always like, how do your finances literally work? Because you know what I mean? Like literally, how do they work? Like, because she's moving into these massive mansions that have to cost like 30 to 50 mil. And I'm like, does she just have like Kim Venmo her 30 mil?
Well-
because she herself can't be pulling in what Kim's pulling in, but she's living in houses as if she is. I guess now Travis Barker's rich.
well, yeah. So now she's
But even earlier in the Kardashians kind of run before she met Travis Barker, it's like she was moving into these massive houses. And I'm like, you personally can't be pulling in enough to afford this.
I really have no idea how their
How does
finances
the
work.
Kim Kardashian trickle down money literally work? And I guess Kylie at this point too. I understand how Chris gets a cut of Kim and Kylie.
Well, also like Kim and Kylie are in this unique spot where like even if the revenue doesn't look like it's there, they can like borrow against their businesses.
Sure, but then is Kourtney able to borrow against Kylie's businesses?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Even
And I'm also not
Khloe is
sure
like-
if her lifestyle brand is successful.
Well, there's no way Chloe's protein popcorn is successful. I know her jeans were unsuccessful. Her fragrance was discontinued. But again, she's living in a palace, so it's like
It's a good question.
Is it just
is
Kim
it being subsidized? I mean, I
hitting
don't
a
know.
wire transfer?
Maybe I don't know what their Hulu deals look like. I don't know.
Well, I bet their Hulu deals are really good, and I bet they're all producers on
Yeah.
it, but still. But I bet, Kim doesn't pull in most of her money from her Hulu deal. I bet it skims.
Yeah, at this point, probably. Or,
Kylie
like,
can't be pulling in money from their Hulu deal. Kylie's never on that show.
Yeah, I really have no idea. I mean, I don't think they get paid like per episode. I think they probably get like season overall, and then like I bet they like get a certain amount of money, and then they negotiate how little they can be on the show to get that amount of money.
Clearly, obviously.
like, right?
Well, dude, it's also this crazy thing where I'm like, that is one thing. I never want to be so rich that I don't know how much money I have.
Yeah, well, we always talk about that where it's like you can't feel rich if you're that kind of rich because it's like you simultaneously have so much money, but also you don't have any money. Like
Well,
that's
it's
also
like-
how it works. Like when you're like a billionaire, so little of your money is accessible or liquid to you. It's mostly speculative. It's all speculative money.
Well, if Jeff Bezos wants to count how much money he has to like have a meeting with like 30 different people.
Yeah.
And then they all have to kind of run their numbers and they all have a number and add it up. And hey, what if he adds it up and they're like, hey, Jeff, we ran the numbers. You have $30.
I mean, but that's the whole thing with so many of these like billionaires, and especially like in tech. Like it's like, do they have any money at all?
Yeah, are you worth $3 billion or are you literally broke?
Also,
What's the difference?
if all your money is in like crypto and stocks, those things are always fluctuating crazy amounts up and down. So it's like on certain days, I'm sure Elon Musk is in the red.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure.
Like-
okay, but like, all right, this is always something that bothered me in movies or TV shows whenever they show like broke people, and they
Yeah.
always would have that moment of like broke people going to the gas station or like going to a restaurant or like going to the grocery store and sorry, your card got declined. Sorry, you don't have enough money in your account. And then they freak out or whatever. I'm like, dude, when I was broke in LA, I was hyper aware of how much money I had.
No, 100%.
When I was like, because there was a period of time where, like, as I would always say, you didn't know this, but we were dating. I would zero out every 2 weeks. Every single 2 weeks before my paycheck hit from my marketing job, I would zero out. At which I was an assistant. I was not making much money.
Cool as a cucumber. I had no idea what was happening.
There would be nights where like we would start hanging out at 6 p.m. I would have $0, but I knew that my paycheck would hit at 8 p.m. because it would really hit at midnight the following day. But my bank's an East Coast bank, so it would hit like midnight on the East Coast would be 8 p.m. on the West Coast. So I would basically get my paycheck at 8 p.m.
9 p.m.
No, 4 hours earlier.
4 hours, but it's East Coast is only 3 hours ahead.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Hey, for whatever reason, at 8 p.m.
Your paycheck
would hit. But like I knew we would start hanging out at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
I knew that my paycheck would hit at 8 p.m. But for those 2 hours, I legitimately had $0. And so if you were like, hey, let's like get dinner, I'd be like, yeah, let's get dinner at like, a little later. How about around 7:45? Let's get dinner. And then you would just be like, all right, because obviously, yeah. But then it's like, and I was cool as a cucumber.
Again, I had no idea he was cool as a cucumber.
But the point is, like, when I was down to like my last $45, I was aware to the penny everything I was spending. Like, you would never catch me like, oh, I thought I had more. Oh, I'm like, no, because that's the only thing I'm thinking about ever.
But I think like in movies when that happens, isn't it usually like it's like the poor little rich girl meme kind of vibe where it's like I go in with my daddy's credit card and I swipe it, and for the first time ever they're like declined, and I'm like, declined? Because that's never happened.
Well, probably in the movies you watch, because that's the plot of every single movie you watched your whole life. Because every single
declined. Daddy, they said my card was declined.
And he's trying to teach her how to.
No, it's
herself.
like he's being investigated for tax fraud or something.
Dude, that's right.
That's always the plot of the movie.
Rich girl whose daddy is investigated for tax fraud.
And
or
her card declines.
Gossip Girl, Nate Archibald.
Yes, and his dad's assets, his parents' assets are frozen because his dad was being fraudy.
Being a little fraudy
stuff, or like again in the OC with Marissa Cooper and Jimmy
which famously
Cooper.
That gave me great anxiety. Again, I think it was being like middle class Midwest mindset. I was always freaked out about the idea of like rich people who lost all their money.
But what's so interesting is, I think the TV does a good job of representing this. I was thinking about this the other day, because when a really rich person loses all their money, they always get it back by the end of the episode, and I think that's like it's a good lesson in that. Like I'm like, if you know how to make a lot of money, you can lose a lot of money and know how to make it back.
Well, that was in Bruce Wayne in The Dark Knight Rises when Bane steals all his money.
Yeah.
And Bruce gets to keep the house. And then I think maybe even Anne Hathaway says, the rich don't even go broke like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Stunning commentary from The Dark Knight Rises.
From The Dark Knight Rises.
But guess what? You know what? Even I didn't fucking like that. I was like, give him his money back.
Yeah.
Hey, Bane, give Batman his money back.
Because I think there's something more to wealth than just like money. Like clearly there is.
Obviously.
Because of TV and movies. We know this.
And we know this from TV and movies, which is how we know everything.
Yeah.
That's the only
it's the only education
we
that
consume.
we've had.